So, Kevin, tell me how our evidence binder case studies from A1 and IMCO helped you get a $515,000 account 1,500 miles away, and you never met or talked to the owner once until after she'd read the case studies.
Okay, so as you know, recently we were able to help JobPro, which is our client that we obtained a broker of record appointment when at first they were quite complacent, even though they were having no success. Long story short, Jerry calls me back. I talked with her this morning. She said, "Hey, I talked with your friend Ed." And I said, "How did it go?" And he goes, "Well, first off, lovely guy. I let him know our story." And she said, "You know what? I let him know since I was working with Barrow Group, and since we're at the same carrier, that I got my study from them, and that he saved me over $500,000 on my mod, and because he talked about having a mod issue, and Jerry's mod now is 0.69, and when we first met her years ago, it was 1.69, and I think when we started with Work First, I'd have to look at our study, it was like 139. So she said, "I just want you to know that he showed us the information of what he did for us, and that we saved over $500,000. And Ed stopped and said, "Are you sure? $500,000? And she said, "Yes. And hopefully he'll be able to do the same thing for you." And that reaffirmed what we had already been showing him with some of those case studies that she put together for us. And it gave him something as a light of hope of, I can do this too.
Exactly.
And he had the person to tell them, Kevin already did this, and everything he said he was going to do for you, he did for us years ago. Now you can be next. So that made me feel good that not only did the client reinforce what we've done for them, but they remembered the material that you had helped us put together for them that I gave them, several months ago, and that it was still fresh in their mind. And I felt that was a story worth sharing because, as you said, the pictures can bring 1,000 words, and reminding them, and they go, "Holy cow, I didn't realize you've done this much for me."
Right, how much we have been worth and continue to be worth.
Absolutely, and we'll continue to re-stress that over and over and over every time we have the opportunity.
Exactly. I mean, that's our job, to never let them forget.
Correct.
Because the natural tendency on all of our parts is for that to gradually diminish if it's not kept reasonably front and center. It's why you can't walk into a major league franchise that has had success and not see their pennants flying or inside their arena.
Correct.
I mean, you would have to be virtually stupid on purpose to not do that.
Correct.
If you were the general manager, you'd get fired for not doing that, for heaven's sake. So
yeah.
We're just doing what we should have done 20 years ago.
I agree. So I have to look back collectively for years and years and say, have I been successful before we started doing some of these things that people might say are different or hokey or curious or whatever term you may use, it's whatever, that how many opportunities maybe could I have been more successful on or altered an outcome without quote-unquote playing the game. And I try to set the rules of engagement on the front. I've learned that.
Yes.
But there's so much more that we can do. But hearing that story after the result we got with JobPro only reaffirms my belief or understanding of how I thought it could go, but times 10.
Exactly. Same here. Same here. Because it's like we're literally being galvanized because 2 months after getting the award, your customer is now able to stand up and tell your story for you because
exactly
they become educated.
Exactly. So maybe if I have the opportunity to share this story with others in a setting, a free speech talk session that you might have in one of your seminars, I think that is a very powerful story. And then,
particularly when they know it got us a $515,000 account, 1,500 miles away, and the owner never met you once.
Yep, and then the local agent's up the street from them, literally up the street.
Just terrific, man. Just terrific. I'm so proud of both of us, really.
I am too. So, But there you have it. So there's your anecdote of the day. And then when I thought about it this morning, like, I have to tell LJ so he can share that with whoever he needs to share it with to reaffirm what you do for people.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sure.
I mean, we're all there's when you do great work, the world should know. This idea that we should be bashful and think that somebody's going to reward us when we're a secret. No more. The world's looking for people like us, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Even when I went over to Carolina Personnel, and gosh, I forgot why I didn't have the fold-up check thing, but I can get that another time. Just the fact that I went over there to teach a class, and I just said, before I start today, and they saw I had the frame or whatever, it's kind of hard to conceal. I just said, I want to thank you for what you've done and show you what we've done together that other people have overlooked. And then I showed them the drug-free workplace, and I showed them what they've saved through the hard work and effort. And in this case, it was because another agent failed to step up to the plate or was just lazy.
Yeah,
so they were either not smart or they were lazy.
Exactly. Didn't know enough or didn't care enough.